Welcome, Impactful Parents. It is Question and Answer Thursday, and today's question is how to teach gratitude to our children. So if you don't know, my name is Christina. I'm founder of the Impactful Parent, and every Thursday I come on here and I do a live video of one of your questions that you submitted during the week. And if you would like to submit a question for me for next week, please do. You can direct message me on social media, or you can email me at theimpactfulparent@gmail.com. Now let's get to our question. So, how to teach gratitude to kids. I absolutely love this. It's so applicable to everybody, and we can all use this. So, to get started, gratitude. What am I talking about here? Well, I feel where I'm coming from is that we're trying to get our kids to appreciate what they already have. And in turn, when they have gratitude, they will actually also have better overall happiness and compassion for others, which is exactly what we're looking for, right, in good parenting. So I have 7 steps today for how to teach gratitude to your child. Step number one is outwardly express your thankfulness and lead by example. There is no better way to teach kids anything than to walk the walk and talk the talk, and they will watch you and they see and they will mimic. And so I promise this is the best way to teach it. So some parents like to create a thankfulness jar and do a real particular activity for their child or their children. I think that is fantastic. But really just hearing you make thankfulness and gratefulness a priority in your life, like every day, saying something that you're grateful for. I actually really like doing this game as I pick up my kids in car lane. They get out of the car, they get into the car. How was your day? What's something that you're grateful for that happened today? And it could be just part of the routine. The more it can become part of a routine, the more instilled it's going to become into your child to be grateful. And also, she also mentioned that all these 7 steps are obviously more effective the earlier you can start them. So you can start these things very, very early. Now, step number 2 of how to have a grateful child is to do some community service, or very similar, some random acts of kindness from time to time. Both are going to be super beneficial. I take my kids to soup kitchens and we volunteer. We do lots of different volunteer work. But aside from formal community service, don't forget that the random acts of kindness will also do the same thing. Whether it's helping a neighbor or picking up trash in the park in your own neighborhood, those kinds of things will do similar things for your child to make them be grateful. Now, step number 3 for having a grateful child is make your kids say please and thank you early. This is the one step that I think a lot of parents do really well. We make sure that our kids learn how to say please and thank you pretty early on in life. But like everything else, be consistent with it. Also, I suggest putting in place real consequences for when they forget to say thank you when they're receiving something. So what I did for my kids when they were really little is maybe I'd give them something and they would just take it. And I'd say, oh, I'm sorry, you forgot to say thank you. And I would take it back and say, we're going to try that again in 5 minutes. And 5 minutes later, they come in, they grab it, they say thank you. And it's just a way of instilling that consistency and how important it is to say thank you to other people. Now, let's go on to our next step, which is step 4. And step 4 is help your child look for the silver lining in the things that they do and see and all the things, okay? Help them see the silver lining. So much we get caught in the gray cloud of life, and our kids do the same thing. So help them see, well, yeah, that's not how I wish it would have turned out either, but at least this happened. And seeing that silver lining, find that thing to be grateful for with even in a bad circumstance, making that a habit earlier on than later to be able to see something grateful in the lesson learned or whatever it might be for any situation. Getting that to be a habit is awesome. Now let's go on to our next one, and it's step number 5. And step number 5 is get your child to write thank you notes early on. And for me, I'm going to suggest that you make them write those thank you notes before they can open the gift and play with it or do something with it. So for example, whether it's a Christmas or a birthday or any other occasion, they get a gift. They open it up. They say, oh, thank you at the party. But before they can literally open up the box or spend the money they got in the card or whatever it is they might have received, they have to write the thank you note. Once the thank you note is written and a stamp is put on the envelope, then my kids are allowed to open up their present and use it. It just, again, instills that good manners, the importance of saying thank you to other people and being grateful for any sort of gift given to them. Our next step, step 6. Step 6 is make your child earn it. And what I mean by this is so many times we just give to our kids. We just give and give and give. We want them to be and have so much more than us, right? But sometimes we give too much, and you can learn so much gratitude by having to struggle to earn something. So I'm telling you, have your kids earn it a little bit more often, whether it's earn money so that they can buy the toy or learning how to do chores in order to do a certain activity. When they earn it, you just are more grateful. Now, I'm going to take that and I'm going to flip it around and say that taking away stuff from time to time also helps them appreciate the privileges that they had. There is something about when something is gone, something that you're used to, and now it's not there anymore. Does it make us appreciate it so much? And whether it's an electronic as being a privilege in your home, or something even more simple like the power goes out and your kids realize how much we rely on electricity in our homes. And when that power comes back on, are we grateful, right? So this technique of taking away in order to achieve some perspective of how grateful we are to have those things can be a really effective way to do this too. And our last step, step number 7, go experience a little bit of a rough life. Now, what I mean by this is take your child to see different parts of the world that don't live like us here in the United States. Take your child to witness or see or watch documentaries on income levels and lifestyles that are lower than wherever you're at. And it can just give them perspective and, again, gratefulness. One of the most effective ways that I actually teach gratefulness, which is similar in these lines, is I take my kids camping. I know it sounds kind of silly, but when you go camping, you lose a lot of those privileges that we're so accustomed to. Electricity, warm beds, Wi-Fi, all those things you lose when you go camping. So boy, are my kids more grateful when they get home to be able to do those things and have those luxuries. And again, it's that same concept of once it's taken away, we appreciate it so much more. But it can be something as simple as just going camping to have your child appreciate some of the bigger picture items that are in their life that they could be grateful for. I hope that those 7 steps helped you today. And if you have your suggestions for how you teach gratefulness to your children, please leave those in the comments below. Here in The Impactful Parent, we help each other. We learn from each other. I want to know, what do you do to teach your child gratitude? And if this video was good for you, don't forget to press that like button, share it with a friend so that they can see it too. Subscribe to the Impactful Parents channel. And next time, for next week, submit your question by either direct message me on social media or by emailing me at theimpactfulparent@gmail.com. I will see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody. You got this, parents. I'm just here to help.